46, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. Jesus Christ said there are worms in hell. I wonder, dear friend, could the worms they're finding on the ocean floor be actually crawling out of hell? Could God be sending a solemn warning to man in these last days, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched? Did you notice what Jesus said in Mark 9, verse 46? Their worm, not a worm or the worm, but notice, their worm. I wonder what he meant by that. The Bible teaches clearly that Christians one day will have a celestial body like that of the Lord Jesus Christ. And some Bible teachers also believe that lost men and women will take on the form of Satan, who in Revelation 12 verse 3 is described as a red dragon. Could it be that Jesus Christ is referring to the actual form that lost men and women will be converted to? Could lost men and women actually devolve into their worm? You better think about that, friend. You better give that some serious thought. In Luke chapter 16, Jesus describes the awful place of hell as he tells of the rich man and the beggar Lazarus. Luke 16 verse 22 reads, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried, and in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame." Jesus Christ said plainly that man was in torments, in flames, and in hell. Jesus Christ took hell very, very serious. To him, hell was no laughing matter. Jesus Christ says in Matthew 5, verse 29, "If thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell." Jesus Christ took hell so seriously that he could say without the least bit of hesitation to remove your eye, to cut off your hand or your foot, if that would keep you out of hell. Friend, if hell is not real, if hell is not 1,000,000 times worse than the most frightening nightmare that ever entered a mortal mind, Jesus Christ was the most deceived man that ever lived. For Jesus Christ preached more on hell than he did heaven. And I'll challenge anyone on the face of this earth to read the words of Jesus Christ and tell me they are the words of a deceived man. No, friend, Jesus Christ knew exactly what he was talking about, and he continually warned of a horror called hell. It is humanly impossible to comprehend the Bible scenario of hell. Nothing on earth could compare with it. No madman in the wildest flights of insanity ever beheld its terror. No nightmare that ever entered a mortal mind could produce a terror to match that of hell. No horror movie ever made could describe its fright. No crime scene with all its blood and gore could begin to match its terror. You'll see hell, and you'll smell hell, and you'll breathe hell, and you'll feel hell. It'll be beyond anything humanly imaginable. The Bible describes it as weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth and darkness, a burning, a no hope, an eternal everlasting punishment. Matthew 25 verse 41 says, "Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire." Or if it was for a few days, a few months, a few years, or even 1,000,000 years, but to be tormented forever. You'll absolutely despair of ever having any deliverance or any hope. You will beg for death itself to come and take you away, friend. You'll curse the day you were born, but no comfort will be found. Revelation 14:11 says, the smoke of their torment is sended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night. Oh, friend, I ask you, what in the world could be worth taking a chance of spending eternity in such a place? No wonder Jesus says in Mark chapter 8, verse 36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? A very interesting article appeared in the respected Helsinki, Finland newspaper Amnesia, which quoted Soviet geologist Dmitry Azakov as saying that he actually drilled through the gates of hell. Listen to what this article said, friend. Quote, as a communist, I don't believe in heaven or the Bible, but as a scientist, I now believe in hell, said Dr. Azakov. Needless to say, we were shocked to make such a discovery, but we know what we saw, and we know what we heard, and we are absolutely convinced that we drilled through the gates of hell. Dr. Azakov continues, the drill suddenly began to rotate wildly, indicating that we had reached an large empty pocket or cavern. Temperature sensors showed a dramatic increase in heat to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. When we raised the drill, we couldn't believe our eyes. A faint creature with huge evil eyes appeared in the gaseous cloud and shrieked like a wild animal before it disappeared. We lowered a microphone, which was designed to detect sounds of plate movements down the shaft. But instead of plate movements, we heard a human voice screaming in pain. At first, we thought the sound was coming from our own equipment, but when we made adjustments, our worst suspicions were confirmed. The screams weren't those of a single human. They were the screams of millions of humans.